Have you ever wondered who the richest actor in the world is? You might think it's someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Tom Cruise, but what if I told you the wealthiest actors lived over 100 years ago, back when movies didn't even have sound? It sounds crazy, right? Today we're talking about three absolute legends who didn't just star in movies, they basically took over Hollywood. They made so much money that the giant studios were actually scared. They weren't just actors. They were business geniuses. This is a story about three friends, Mary, Charlie, and Douglas, who went from performers to the most powerful people in entertainment. Original influencers, original moguls, they built an empire. Private jets and mansions level of wealth in the 1920s. They saw the studio bosses getting all the money and said, "Nope, we're doing it ourselves." And they actually did it. If you want to see how they outsmarted the biggest studios and amassed fortunes worth hundreds of millions or billions, keep watching. Let's get into it. First up, we have Mary Pickford. You might not have heard of her, but in the 1910s and 20s, she was the most famous woman on the entire planet. Her fame was a global phenomenon in an era before television or the internet, making her bigger than any celebrity today. She was known as America's sweetheart, often playing sweet, innocent young girls with those beautiful golden curls. Audiences adored her and would line up for blocks just to see her movies. Behind that sweet smile was one of the most brilliant and ruthless business minds Hollywood has ever seen. She knew her value. Forced onto the stage as a child to support her widowed mother and siblings, she learned early that her talent was a commodity. When she moved into silent films, she quickly realized the actors were the real draw, not the studios. She demanded her name on posters. Studios balked. The public loved it. That move basically invented the movie star. Every time her contract was up, she demanded more, doubling, even tripling her salary. Studios complained, but a Mary Pickford film was a guaranteed blockbuster. If one didn't pay, another would. She didn't just ask for a cut of the profits, she demanded it. Her landmark 1916 deal guaranteed her $10,000 a week, plus a full 50% of her film's profits. This was revolutionary. It transformed her from a mere employee into a powerful partner, fundamentally changing the power dynamics in Hollywood. Her films, like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm and Pollyanna, weren't just movies, they were cultural events. She pioneered merchandising, launching product lines for dresses and cosmetics. Her Mary Pickford brand of cold cream became a household staple. She didn't just lend her face to an ad, she licensed her name and image, taking a direct percentage of sales, influencer marketing a century before Instagram. In 1919, with Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, and D.W. Griffith, she formed United Artists, a declaration of independence. Now she owned the pipeline, creative control, and more importantly, financial control. By the mid-1920s, Mary was among the world's wealthiest women. Estimated at $50 million then, $800 million plus today. Some say closer to $1 billion. Producer, savvy investor, Academy co-founder, she helped build the town and industry we know today. With husband Douglas Fairbanks, they were treated like American royalty, drawing massive crowds. Their legendary mansion, Pickfair, was the unofficial White House of Hollywood. An invitation was the ultimate status symbol, and they famously hosted a dinner for Albert Einstein, cementing their status as global cultural ambassadors. She retired from acting with Sound's arrival, but kept producing, investing wisely. Her business acumen never faded. She wrote the playbook. If Mary was the queen of Hollywood, then Charlie Chaplin was its undisputed king. The hat, the tiny mustache, the cane. He created the tramp, a character that made the whole world laugh and cry, and made Chaplin unbelievably rich. From poverty in London to stage work as a child, he became a film star almost overnight in America. But Chaplin despised the factory-style filmmaking of the early studios. He demanded absolute control, and got it. After his first contract, he leveraged his skyrocketing fame to build his own studio on La Brea Avenue. This wasn't just a building, it was his personal creative kingdom, a self-contained production pipeline where he was the only boss. Inside, he was the ultimate auteur. He wrote, directed, starred in, edited, and even composed the musical scores for his films. He operated completely outside the studio system, which gave him 100% creative control, and just as importantly, total financial control over every dollar. When hits like The Gold Rush and City Lights exploded worldwide, the profits flowed directly to him. His physical comedy was a universal language. While other studios struggled with the transition to sound, which created language barriers, Chaplin's silent tramp continued to dominate foreign markets. In post-WWI Germany, for example, his films were a cultural sensation, and he shrewdly managed his own international distribution to maximize his returns from every territory. As a UA founder with Pickford and Fairbanks, he locked in independence. UA became his distribution machine. He negotiated from strength and invested smartly in stocks and real estate, building wealth that outlived the moment. At his height, estimates near $100 million in the 1940s. Easily, 1.5 B+ today. Some argue up to 2 BI, making him perhaps the richest actor ever. His personal life and politics drew controversy. During the Red Scare, he was exiled for decades, a blow that could have ruined anyone else. But Chaplin's wealth was diversified and global. He moved to Switzerland and lived in extraordinary luxury. He owned his films outright, his intellectual property. This is the core of his enduring financial empire. To this day, his estate earns millions annually from theatrical re-releases, streaming rights, and merchandise. Every time you see the tramp on a poster, it's a testament to the business empire he built. That's the true lasting power of owning your IP. His legendary perfectionism, shooting hundreds of takes to get a single gag just right, was a luxury only afforded to him because he was the boss, investing his own money in his own vision of perfection. We remember the laughs, but he was a revolutionary businessman who controlled art, distribution, and profit. He built a fortress of wealth and freedom no studio could shake, not even exile. His cane wasn't just a prop, it was a scepter. Chaplin ruled his own global entertainment kingdom, a quiet genius who outsmarted the system, richer than the bosses who tried to control him. The tramp, yes, but truly, the mogul. His creative instincts guided him. His business instincts rewarded him more than any actor before or since. We've had the Queen and the King. Now the knight in shining armor, Douglas Fairbanks, the original action hero. Before him, leading men were often serious. Fairbanks brought a beaming smile and boundless energy. If the star does epic sword fights and wild stunts, thank Fairbanks. His high-energy swashbucklers invented the action-adventure genre, the 1920s Tom Cruise and Jackie Chan in one. He had athleticism, charm, and infectious optimism, but grew tired of the same light comedy roles. So he created a new kind of hero. United Artists wasn't just business. It was his ticket to creative freedom. He produced his own epics immediately. For The Thief of Baghdad, he built gigantic sets on an unprecedented scale. The budget soared past $1 million, an astronomical sum in 1924, to construct a fantasy world covering acres. Hollywood called him crazy, but Fairbanks bet his fortune on himself. The film was a colossal hit. He created the first blockbuster event movie, selling escapism at awe-inspiring scale. As a UA partner, profits came back to him. He was the star, producer, and financier. Risk big, reap bigger. He pioneered merchandising. When he was Zorro or Robin Hood, kids wanted the gear. And sales exploded. His business acumen extended to real estate. He invested smartly in land around Hollywood, famously purchasing a ranch with Mary Pickford that became Pickfair. Their influence helped transform the sleepy fields of Beverly Hills into a premier address. As the city grew, his land values skyrocketed, and so did his fortune. At his peak, estimates near $40 million, roughly $600, $700 million in today's dollars. He co-founded the Academy and served as its first president, shaping Hollywood's prestige and glamour. He did his own stunts, genuinely dangerous. There was no trick photography, just pure athleticism. Audiences knew they were seeing the real deal, which cemented his legendary status. When roles didn't exist, he created them. When studios limited him, he built his own. He supplied the adventure everyone craved. Together, Fairbanks, Pickford, and Chaplin ruled Hollywood as true united artists, architects of their destinies and empires. Mary Pickford, Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, not just stars, creator moguls. They saw the system and flipped the script by forming united artists, taking control of art and money. Their blueprint is timeless. Build an audience, gain leverage, demand ownership, build an empire. The person with the audience holds the power. Bet on yourself. Fight for ownership. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe and tell us which modern celebrity follows their playbook best. See you in the next video.